Hello, Digidestins. This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we have an exclusive interview with the recent Top Cut finalist, #1 champion, Dan Vega. So let's get a round of applause for him. So, tell us.
How's it going?
Tell us a little bit, Dan. How did your matches go? Like, what was your most exciting moment of the event? Like, tell me a little bit.
Sure. So I placed first in the Top Cut tournament this past weekend. A lot of hard matches. I've played 4 yellow Lord Nightmon players, 1 green player, 1 Rookie Rush player, and 1 Lilith Loop player. Honestly, a lot of the matches that were difficult were the yellow and a Lilith Loop player. Can't talk. A lot of difficulties. I think on both ends. Some of the games against the yellow players, they bricked a little harder than I did, so I was able to make a comeback in that sense. And a lot of them did not expect the Nidhogg play, which really was the saving grace for me. Especially the last yellow player I played, Mustafa. He had a really commanding board, and I didn't have anything else except a Dino Bee in the raising, and I was like, do I evolve this to Imperial to check? And I was like, I still can't win though. So I was like, let me just Nidhogg his board. That'll be the best option instead.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of great players. Every player I played this past weekend, so good.
Yeah, dude, you were. I like that when we've discussed it, like it was not even on your radar, the Nidhogg, and then all of a sudden it became on your radar. Like, a lot of players are probably going to be now teching it as a one-of just because it is a great card. A board wipe in itself, being able to clear boards that you weren't, where Imperial is supposed to rush. I think having a board wipe option is just super important because you do kind of lose out on Omnimon because you're going with Blitz.
Yeah, I do think continuing Nidhogg is definitely going to be one of those techs that people have to just be aware of now. They might not go into it, but they also might, so you kind of have to be aware just in case. I think Nidhogg is definitely a nice play for this one. Shoutouts to Ethan Slaughter. You know, he's definitely one of the guys that just kept telling me, like, hey man, this is actually a pretty good idea. You know, we just went back and forth till I was like, let's do it. You know what? I was like, let's do it. I don't have anything to lose because yellow is so rough. Like, if, like, I just see, you know, boards like Lord Nightmon swing, then they have, like, they play a Nightmon and they have a blocker. At least I can get rid of something, right?
Yeah. Being able to, because everybody plays 5Ks, being able to take out the Lord Nightmon and then a blocker, and then, to be honest with you, the Nightmon's a threat, yes, but you can easily deal with it. Like, at the end of the day, it's not going to do too much damage because, again, either they're already trying to swing with it or something, you know? And, again, wiping a whole board, dude, is crazy. So,
oh yeah.
Because blue is not intended for that at all.
Yeah, also blue doesn't really have removal. Obviously, you know, there's the Kaitis Breath, but sometimes those feel like not great playing. You know, you give your opponent like 6, 7 memory, that's a lot, where they can climb again. But sometimes, you know, it does come in clutch because we don't have like a Gaia Force to just wipe their guy off the field. So that's the next best thing.
Of course. And there's the other things, like, at least with Nidhogg, you can still memory choke because 2 Hammer Sparks with a Davis on board, congratulations, you're already hitting the 5 that you need. So again, you're already playing it for practically free, where most decks are struggling just to not pass turn, and you slam down Nidhogg that can swing. So it's like,
yeah,
what are they gonna do?
Oh yeah, a nice play too sometimes is just they have the blocker. You're gonna swing with Dino Bee. They're not gonna block, right? Because you get the piercing jamming, and then they think you're just gonna go to Imperial, and then they're like, I'll block that. You know, that's fine. Then it's a Nidhogg instead, and they're like, oh, there's that.
Yep. And that's the thing. Most people do not expect the Nidhogg to come down on a Dino Bee. They're like, oh, he didn't get his Imperialdramon, so you know what? We're nothing to worry about here. Nothing to worry. What just happened?
Yep.
How many people went like, what? To you?
3 people at least. They're like, what?
Yeah, Dino Bean's green. Didn't you know that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think a lot of it is just just that unpredictable factor because you just think, they're just gonna try to swing as best they can. Now you're like, oh, if they have Imperialdramon, now they'll just swing harder with Imperial, or now they have Dino Bean. Now you're like, ooh, are they trying to wipe the board? Might have to play around that. Yellow still is favorable at the end of the day, but it gives blue something to kind of pivot towards.
Oh, of course, because they like spamming with the little guys, especially putting down a Lucamon or anything like that. You're just like, okay, Lucamon's not really too much of a threat at the end of the day after that point.
Yeah, definitely do like the Nidhogg a lot.
Okay, guys, let's dive right into this lovely deck profile Dan has for us, and we'll be right back. Go. So we got the deck profile, boys and girls. Let's see what Dan's spiciness was.
All right, we'll start with the babies. 4 Demi-V. Can't go wrong. You always want to get that jamming swing. A lot of times I'm not even swinging with my level 4s. Usually it's just there to climb, which is why I run pretty much a bunch of 1-cost level 4s to evolve. You really just want this. A lot of times people play around the Upamon, unfortunately, so you really just want that guaranteed draw. And I still jump back and forth every time. Like I said, I believe in the last interview as well. Like sometimes I want the Upamon, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I think about the Demi-Vmon with the restand, but I go back and forth.
Oh, I don't blame you. It's tough. Like, again, you want your consistency.
Of course. And what goes better with that baby than the 4 jamming Vmon?
Vmon's king, right?
Yeah, my favorite rookie. Pulsemon, right? Close second. Just swinging, getting a draw, forcing the opponent to block, or just knowing that they're losing a security feels so good.
Of course, they're not. They're again. Threat analysis says Vmon is like a high threat target. It's ridiculous at times where it's like either you have the blocker on board or else this thing's gonna just chip away way too quickly.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We have 2 of the restand Vmon. Pretty good when you see it under the right stack. Sometimes you don't, sometimes hardcasted. There are some times where I mismatch, right? I'll hatch the baby. I'll not have this Vmon, so I'll evolve to this Vmon. And then I see the Vmon from the evolution draw, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. They mismatched, but it works.
I can tell you from that painful experience, it's like, I want to play the Agumon down, and then I have to digivolve it, and then it's like Shoutmon comes to my hand. I'm like, ah! Or it's the reverse way around, and it's like, I need this, but I don't get this. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It's the worst feeling. So we're just playing 5 of the vanilla rookies now. I just put 3 Gomamon and 2 Elect, just in case to avoid, the OG Omni, just in case. Anything with same name, but I do like the Gomamons a little bit better. Hopefully.
Which you didn't even see an OG Omni, let's be honest.
yeah, but some people may run it, so just in case, you always got to be aware of stuff with the same name. But hopefully people start getting their event packs so they can alter art and max rarity their Gomamons.
Yeah, I'm hoping some max rarity stuff too.
We have 1 Gabumon. He can always be a rookie as well, just to draw 1 Gabumon. He can always be a rookie
plus
or
1 is a
something,
plus 1.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the 1K hurts so much in this format against yellow, because they have Pikmon, they got the Starmon. There's so many ways for them to just kill this guy. And then they have the Inherit Koromon if they run that baby instead. There's so many ways they can kill the Gabumon. Like sometimes you just don't even want to play it. There were times when I played yellow players where I had to pass because anything I played, like if I play my vanilla rookie, it dies anyway. So I'm just gonna pass. They already have 2K, so they'll get their 3 and I don't have to lose a card or possibly trigger their Patamon.
Well, I would have at least at that point just slammed down the Gomamon to draw a card. At least a net.
Yeah. If I had Gomamon, that would be the play for sure. But I don't have vanillas at the time, so but sometimes I don't want to see him either because if I play him, he'll die anyway, and then I don't get a chance to fight back. And the last 2 level 3s are the Sayakomon. Opponent's turn, your opponent can't reduce Digivolution costs. pretty good against the Lilith Loop, opposing green decks, and the mirror match. Definitely could see myself running a third one at some point. You know,
it sounds like Gabumon's gonna go for it.
The flex spot. It can be a vanilla, it can be another Sayakomon, depending on if you feel you're gonna see more Imperial or more green or more Lilith Loop. Even like decks that have Nokia, you know, anything that cheats out Digivolution costs, you can always add this. Or if you play yellow, obviously you play the cute one. They're all pretty good. For our level 4s, we have 2 Gorilla and 2 Toby. Definitely really like this split for now, just in case. Toby's really good. Obviously, if you're bricking and you want to cheat out stuff. Gorilla, don't want to see it when you're bricking, but it is nice to be 6k because it does avoid a shout. It does get over the 5k blockers that people run, so it is nice just to have him once in a while. Toby definitely came in clutch one time because I had no rookies and I had everything else. I was like, I'm just gonna hard play him and hope for the best. Luckily, he survived.
Yeah, sometimes just a level 3 champion is just all you need, though. But the only downside is it does get punished by the ultimate flare.
Yeah. Oh yeah, ultimate flare will get rid of this real bad. Luckily, I did not face any security control at all in the top cut.
I don't think I even saw, like, I only faced one Omni security control. Was one security control. Like, that was supposed to be everybody's bread and butter, was going into security control, and the top 8 looks like there's none.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a lot more security control too, but I think everyone went, I guess, the safer route for yellow, just in case, because I guess people still don't have a foundational BT-5 security control list that they can kind of bounce ideas off and build off of, so I think that's why. But I'm sure once someone wins with security control or tops with it, people are like, okay, this is the definitive list to build around or improve on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So probably this weekend, if security control tops, even top 16, people are going to try to build around it and, you know, use that list as a foundation for sure.
I mean, Imperial Gaming had their top first place was a security control list, so I'm not surprised that people didn't use that as a foundation.
That's true. So we have blockers next. Used to be 4 Quellamon. I just put the 1 Grizzly in, just in case.
Okay.
Sometimes I think about the 2-2 split, but I'm like, the one memory feels so good sometimes, and you need it. Because sometimes people will go into, like, you know, if they brick, like, especially when I played against, like, a yellow player and 1 green player, they had no rookie and they just played their tamer, and I was like, okay, I have 4. And I had a rookie, and then I went up 1, and then luckily I had Dino B or a Imperialdramon. I'm like, okay, now, you know, I've used the memory efficiently, and then I can just play like a rookie or something, and now like have a good present for next board state. Digimon did save me a couple times though. Definitely avoided like minusing and dying, because at one point they did minus 4k to my Grizzly and then 1k, but they didn't have an extra 1k to kill it. So I was like, okay, it's still blocker active. It did feel pretty good.
Just having that extra 1k is sometimes nutty enough to justify its use.
Agreed, and it definitely felt good against Rookie Rush, because obviously Rookie Rush plays a lot of 5ks. Like, you don't want to tie and crash, so luckily, when I did play Rookie Rush Game 2, I saw my Grizzly, and I had the chance to either evolve over it, or just stall by playing like another rookie, and that's what I did. I think I played the Grizzlymon just to stall, and I played the Restand Vmon, and you don't want to hard play it, but gotta do something to get a body on board. So I was like, I'll just play Grizzlymon and leave it there, so it helps stall for a little bit longer.
Okay, now here comes the generic ultimate list, or is, oh yeah, we're still in champions.
We still got one more. You can't forget these babies.
Yeah, we can, because they're not all max rarity. I'm sorry, you have one.
This one will be soon. Give it like a couple days, a week. Probably at the most.
At least have it pre-release stamped, you silly.
It's just a regular one, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, what more can I say? Best hybrid. This guy wins games. He just comes in clutch sometimes. There was one game where I just had to just crash into their blocker. Luckily, I had 2 tamers, because I had a Davis and the Sora Joe. Sora Joe didn't really come in handy, so I was like, I'll evolve over that. Anyway, because it's not a memory tamer, and I just crashed into their blocker. And luckily they didn't have a blocker next turn, so that's when I capitalized a little bit more and just was able to swing for game.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's usually how you sneak wins, is just Lobomon.
Busted. And yep, now you're right. Here comes the generic level 5 list. Imperialdramon and Dino B. Usually you want to see this. Now I don't mind when I see Dino B sometimes. Sometimes, we'll see. But yeah, nothing more than can be said. You always want to see Imperialdramon for Imperial, right? But if you have Nidhogg, like, I can evolve to Dino B. It's not horrible. Yeah, nothing more than can be said about the level 5. You gotta run them. Run them.
Yeah, you need your routes.
I've seen some lists run maybe 2 Dino B. I wonder why. I think you can max out on the Dino Bs if you're going the full blue Imperial route. Just the piercing jamming feels so good sometimes, especially if you have to. You have to bait them anyway, right? If you have the jamming Vmon, you're like, okay, I'm gonna swing, draw a card. You're gonna block because you want this to die, and then I still get my piercing jamming, so it kind of works out in the end.
Of course.
Level 6s, no surprises here anymore, right? The 4 Imperials, usual.
He needs to upgrade.
Say again?
You need to upgrade.
I know, yeah. 1 will get upgraded, 2 are in the midst of being upgraded. Definitely worth it. This is Boss Monster. And then obviously rounding it out is, oh boy, Nidhogg. He'll be upgraded too eventually. But yeah, Nidhogg, like I said earlier, great plays. Just going over to swing, piercing, jamming over something, and then going right into Nidhogg to burst felt so good. Saved me a couple games.
Yep, that spicy 1 of tech that just throws everybody off. And
there
again,
was one time, I don't remember. There was one time he was in security too. They were swinging with a 12K and it flipped over, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah," and it killed their Lord Nightmon. So I was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, no, it's really funny when their board is just so weak early on when the first Lord Nightmon comes in, and then your first security check is big enough to kill the Lord Nightmon. Just
that makes them think twice, right? If they have 13K, oh, I can swing into security. The only thing that'll kill me is the Omni, right? Nope, still got the Nidhogg. 13 will tie and bust it up. Oh yeah. Dragon Buddies.
Now need to make a combination art that just combines them.
That'd be kind of sick. And we got the 2 Blitz Omni.
Yep.
I mean, what can be said? It's an extra check. A good day, you could swing 4 times, right? 1 with Imperialdramon, 2 Imperial, and then 1 Blitz Omni. And sometimes, if you're at 1, you give them their 3. If they have the Memory Tamer back, you don't feel as bad. Blitz Omni does feel good. Shoutouts to Max Tapera, reminding me again that on your opponent's turn, or all turns, excuse me, if you would be removed by an opponent's card effect, sent back to the hand or deck, you could just move your level 6 and trash it, and then he'll stay on the board.
Yeah.
So helps against green. Green will just have to swing over it instead.
I mean, against Nidhogg, yeah. But outside of that, it's just...
Yeah, outside of that, it does nothing against yellow. You just minus DP, it's dead anyway. No matter what. It's a reduction through game mechanics, 1. And 2, even if it was able to stay on the board, they can't stay on board with 0 DP, so it's gone.
See, I wish it would have the ability to pull off and negate a minus DP effect at least once. This is supposed to be your body that stays. I think that would have been a way of checking yellow, especially in this BT-5 format.
Yeah, we gotta play with the old hope that yellow players brick, unfortunately. It's not a great strategy. It's not foolproof, I'll tell you that.
Nah, they play like purple. If you can keep their ultimates off board, you're really good. As long as you can't let them get to Mega.
Thank you for leading into that, actually. We'll start with that, then. We'll start with the options. So, 2 Cocytus Breath. Cocytus Breath definitely saved me 1 or 2 games. But, like you said, there was one game where I played the Lilith Loop player, He went to Lady Devi and gave me one memory choked, but he had nothing in raising. I was like, it's risky to bounce to the Lady Devi back, but it does guarantee me that I don't have to see Lilith loop happen, right? So I just Kakaitis Breath his Lady Devi. I think I had like a Gorillamon or something. I don't remember. I had something on board establishing something in raising, but just bouncing back to Lady Devi, he pretty much had to reset, right? He had to put everything in raising again. Gave me a turn to kind of bring out stuff and start swinging a little bit extra before he could set up the loop.
Of course. Being able to snipe that is just monumentally big in this format.
Mm-hmm. The last option we play
is that bloody Hammer Spark. Ban it!
No less. No less. Maybe it'll change when the memory boosts come out from the starter decks, like the Gallimon Ulfor starter deck, but right now, honestly, or Hammer Sparks, no less. I don't care what you say, this feels so good. Especially for this deck.
When are you going to max rarity to those? You got your Kakaitis Breath, not max rarity. You got to get those Hammer Sparks back rarity. Come on. You live and bite.
These when the starter deck comes out, I'll run those.
No, they're commons. They're not rared.
Shoutouts to Trey from my team. He has the max rarity ones. If anyone ever wants to see a max rarity deck list, just go ask him. I joke that I'll just have him take the picture.
Just edit it in.
Deck list. Yeah, I'll just use that as my deck list. Put a timestamp on it, and then people play people and they're like, "Wait, this isn't max rarity at all." But Hammer Spark, what can be said? Love it, you hate it, right?
Yeah.
You love it when it's on your side. You hate it when you see it on the opponent's side. Always.
I mean, on our other videos that we recorded beforehand, that thing was what won you your first game. Like,
yes. Was the only reason I won that game. The only reason. I was getting stomped on by Shout at that point.
Mm.
And to round it off, we have the 3 Davis and the 1 Sora Joe. 3 Davis, definitely no less than 3. 1 more, maybe. Definitely no less than 3 for sure.
Of
Sora
course.
Joe, teched it in, tried to see if I liked it, because before I was running 2 Takumi. No Takumi for this deck, only because it kind of hurts the bottom heavy part of the deck, because we run like 15 rookies. Sometimes if you try to rookie rush them, if you have Takumi on board, it hurts you a lot. I think the only time my Sora Joe actually went off, felt really good, was against Rookie Rush, because they didn't have sources, but other than that, a lot of people just played around this.
Oh yeah.
If you're not running Hex, you know, you don't really need to run Sora Joe as much in my opinion, because it feels nice ripping sources right from under a Lord Nightmon or something after they burst from War Growlmon, but even then, this is okay.
I mean,
like it's one time it's Rookie Rush. Right, go ahead.
It's quite there just to get that Angel Womon from underneath it and just go like, nah, bro, you're not getting 4 Mons at once. Let's stop this.
yeah, there is those situations where you can do that as well, but like I said, it's not as great. So if you really want to run 4 blue tamers, just make this a Davis. But this can be replaced probably for another Nidhogg or something, honestly.
You could do Nidhogg, you could automatically go into the more, to be honest with you, I think you should bring in Matt and Ty at that point. They're going to go off a little more consistently.
That would be crazy if this was Matt and Ty and I was able to swing for four swings, and then with the last check's a 5th swing, so it's like a OTK essentially. You know, you get rid of all their security.
Well, it only counts the Omnimon, remember that. It doesn't actually...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They'll swing once, twice with Imperial, and then 2 checks because of the Omni, so that's 5 checks. That's a lot.
Yeah. I think I just gave you your next Spice card. And at least that guarantees you the memory paired to Sora and Joe that's very suboptimal at times.
Yeah. We'll play around it so often and so easy.
They can't play around Matt and Ty.
They cannot. Like +1. Can't stop it.
Nope.
Yeah, so this is the deck profile. I had a great time at the tournament. I was super nervous like every game. Almost every player had a really good chance beating me, especially the green player, 2 of the yellow players, and the Lilith Loop player. I was like, oh my god. Stressing.
I don't blame you. That's not an easy matchup in the slightest. And again, congratulations, man. Definitely showing Imperialdramon is no pushover, and it's going to be here for a long period of time.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, remember, give Dan and Gaia Force Gaming a quick shout out. They deserve it. They breed one of the most top players around the states. So, guys, remember, stay healthy, stay safe. And Dan, sign him off.
Yeah, thanks for featuring me. Shout outs to Gaia Force Gaming, Ridemyavatar, the guys at Imperial Gaming in Connecticut. They always show love in the chat. Shout outs to Ethan Slaughter for helping me with these deck profiles, and everyone else who's been just, asking me, giving me advice, thinking like, hey, maybe you should try this out, and it might work. Thank you, everyone.